Good afternoon, conference, and welcome to our last plenary session. I must say that this week has gone by really fast, and it feels a little bit sad that we're coming to the end of the conference, to the end of this triennial meeting. But I'm happy to let you know that we still have some very exciting moments to come, so let's get started. And we will get started by clarifying a question many of you have raised about the rules of procedure, or more specifically about the recent vote we took on deciding on the next host of the World Scout Conference and the World Scout Youth Forum. Some of you have asked why the final number of votes is not divisible by 6, and that is because according to the rules of procedure, when we vote for world events, you can cast any number of votes between 0 and 6. That means the final total vote number is not necessarily divisible by 6. Secondly, I want to wish a very good recovery to Ms. Tinhinane Remila from Algeria. She is now back here in the plenary with us after 3 days in the hospital in Baku. So welcome back to the conference. We wish you a good recovery. Really happy to have you here. The closing of the World Scout Conference also marks an end to the mandate of the outgoing World Scout Committee. Let me, therefore, invite the outgoing chairperson, Mr. João Armando Gonçalves, to provide his farewell remarks to the World Scout Conference on behalf of the World Scout Committee. Welcome to the stage, João.
You haven't heard what I have to say, so might be a bit premature. Is it already 18th of August 2017? That was quick, isn't it? Are you feeling well? Me too, in general. Before I share the words I have to share with you, may I tell you another story? It's a true one. I mean, the other story I told you at the first time, it was also true. Somebody asked me if it was, I made that up. I did. No, this story is about something in my life as well. So when I came to scouting at the age of 13, in my local group, there was only one leader. Let's call him Mr. P. And there was no other leader, and there are good patrol leaders, but no leader. And he has a very peculiar charisma, let's say. But yeah, we survived that. Many years after, when I was the leader of my own group, the group of my town, at a certain point we were celebrating the 50th anniversary of my local group. And of course we organized a number of things, reunion of the former scouts and exhibitions, you know, what you normally do in these occasions. And one of my colleagues, another scout leader, which was in charge of collecting information about former scouts, one day came to me and said, João, I managed to speak with Mr. P. He gave me a number of names, which are useful. But more than that, he gave me a copy of his notebook, a sort of a log that he had, in which he took notes on some of the activities that we were having, and therefore it would be a good memory of what happened before. And I said, wow, good. Of course I was very curious, and I asked him for the copy, and I was going through it, and I just discovered that besides him putting down what the activities were, he was also making notes about his scouts. So they're putting some notes, for example, some of my patrol leader, he was saying he's an outstanding guy, really committed, he's really a true scout and this and that. So he made some remarks about different scouts. And of course, at a certain point, I saw my name on the book. And I was curious, obviously. And the book said something like, I had come to the group very recently, and the book said something like, he's an engaged person, engaged kid, but you will never go far in scouting. So, Mr. P, maybe you were wrong. That's as far as we can get, I'm sorry. And this is just to remind us that sometimes we may make some some bad judgments about the young people. So maybe next time that we look into a young person, we may think that there is some potential there. They probably will be the chairman of the World Scout Committee one of these days, hopefully. Dear friends, our 41st World Scout Conference is coming to an end. I have said repeatedly in the past few months that a conference like this is an occasion to report, share, celebrate, and make decisions for our common future. I believe we did all that in the past 5 days, even before that actually, and that was very much due to your commitment and positive spirit. And I thank you all very much for that. On behalf of my colleagues, the outgoing World Scout Committee, I would like also to thank some special people who made all this possible. The 5 chairs of this conference who promptly said yes when invited to embark on this new experience of coordinating the delivery of the conference on your behalf. Thank you very much. Those of you who generously supported the conference by being members of the Resolutions Committee, tellers, facilitators of sessions, translators, and much more, thank you very much for your contribution. The outstanding group of professionals from the World Scout Bureau who worked day and night, literally, for the success of this conference. Thank you very much for your effort. Finally, our vibrant, diligent, and efficient hosts who made this conference absolutely memorable. Thank you so much. Dear sisters and brothers in Scouting, I stand before you for the last time as chairman of the World Scout Committee. As many of you know, I took it as a service to this movement that we love. A service like the one you and more than 7 million women and men are rendering because we all want the world to be better. And we do that by helping young people to grow as happy and fully developed persons. I believe that in Scouting, the position we hold has far less importance than the mission we carry. And that mission is the same for each of us. In the last 3 years, I had the immense privilege to travel throughout the world and to meet so many of you during Scouting occasions. I heard your concerns, I shared your laughter, I rejoice in your successes, I learn from your stories. And all that only confirm that we serve in the best youth movement in the entire world. That happens because it is a movement for good, because it is a movement that transforms people into better people and communities into better communities, and because it is a movement that enables us to call brothers and sisters to people whom we never met before. You know as much as I do that the world needs this. We need to show people that a different world is possible and that we are ready to take on our share of this collective responsibility. If we look around in our movement, we can now almost touch a certain sense of excitement, a sense of pride in who we are and what we do, a sense of unity, a sense of its future. I believe our movement has now an extraordinary opportunity to go out there and take the world by storm. A storm of goodwill and good actions. Because being a spectator is not an option when it comes to transforming for the better the world we live in. And this is probably the most powerful way to give meaning to our lives. Because don't forget, our movement is a movement made by people, for people. Dear brothers and sisters in Scouting, as I address you for the last time, allow me to ask you three things for the future. Please continue to make this movement the extraordinary transformational force that changes the lives of human beings and creates value in communities. Please keep one of the most precious jewels we have in World Scouting, our unity in our diversity. Please help the new chair, the new World Scout Committee, the Secretary General, and an extraordinary group of people in the World Scout Bureau. They all want the same thing as you do, a stronger and more united movement that will turn the world into a better place. To the new World Scout Committee, I sincerely wish you, on behalf of my colleagues, the best possible 3 years. The talented and committed group of Scouts that this conference has elected, together with the other members, gives us the assurance that you will take this movement to new heights. To the Secretary General, Ahmad Al-Endawi, in 5 months, you already have changed our movement. I can only imagine how World Scouting will look like in 3 years' time. Working with you has been a pleasure and a privilege, and the new World Scout Committee is very fortunate to have your support. To my successor, Craig Turpin, mindful of your competence and engagement, I think you don't need more than one advice from me, which is something I discovered during these 3 years. When things get rough, and it can, ask a young scout why he or she is a scout. I'm sure the answer will give you the extra motivation you need. Craig, you have known for more than 15 years now, shocking, that you can all count on me. Feel free to reach out to me whenever you need. Finally, as I end my service as chairman, allow me to thank some of those who made this journey possible. To the association in which I grew in Scouting from the age of 13, CNE Portugal, not only for all the institutional support provided to me in my years of service to WOSM, especially in the last 3 years, but also for the encouragement I received from so many members. To the Scout organizations of the Czech Republic, Iceland, and Romania, for your courage, trust, and continued friendship. To my colleagues in the World Scout Committee, for the trusting in me and choosing me as a patrol leader, for all the collaboration and a tremendous personal effort in delivering what we promise to World Scouting. And in that occasion, I would like to ask you, my committee, the entire committee, if they can come to the stage so they can be recognized and thanked by all of you in this conference. Can the committee come here? Youth advisors included, of course. You are part of the committee. Quick, or Anna will kill me because we are. Come, treasurer, original chairs. Yeah, okay. Sorry for the mess, Madam Chairman. At this time, presenting you the entire committee, allow me to make some specific references. The outgoing members, Dan, Karin, Marcel, Bagrat, Lydia, Fernando, Abdullah, Mari, thank you, and all the best for your future. Especially you, Marisan. Thank you for being a fellow in the last 6 years. Thank you so much. Peter and the other members of the committee which continue, thank you and good luck, mate. My colleagues in the steering committee, Jan, Jemima, and Mahid. Oh, you are awesome. Yes, you are awesome. I think there are no words that people can understand what we've gone through together. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To the outgoing youth advisors, Maid, Jeremy, Diana, Moira, Luis, Montazer. Our youth members should be very proud of you, but not only them. The entire organization should be very proud of you. Thank you so much. to the World Scout Bureau staff for having gone above and beyond so many times to serve the World Scout Committee in the last 3 years. I salute you all by paying tribute to the collaboration received from Scott Tier and now Ahmed Al-Endawi, our Secretary General. Thank you so much to all of you. To all the volunteers who made this World Scout Committee and this chair shine because of their efforts and hard work, thank you for your contribution as well. To all those scouts and leaders whom I met around the world and who provided so many times the energy I needed. To all of you who make this movement so great, thank you all. And to my family, the rock on which I was able to build this extraordinary adventure. Miguel, Catarina, Inês, Cristina, I'm coming home. Thank you.
Dear Joao, let me, on behalf of the World Scout Conference, thank you and your team for your service. This World Scout Committee was charged with the responsibilities on course to achieve our Vision 2023, and I think I can speak on behalf of all of us when I say that you have done a truly remarkable job. You have brought a true sense of unity to this movement, uniting us in striving for a common goal. You have upped the ambitions of the movement. You've dared to try new things, to explore innovative ways of working, and you have been going the extra mile in achieving the goals we set for the movement. And also you've been true to the commitment of increasing youth involvement in the movement, which we have seen not only here in the conference and in elections, but that we are seeing throughout the movement currently. So, although we call this a farewell speech, I'm sure you will not say farewell to us and the Scout movement. As we sing around the campfire, and as the years go by, I think of you and sigh. It is good night and not goodbye. Now let's have a last look at those 3 years you and your team led World Scouting. Thank you. Now let us look forward, and forward for WOSM means Vision 2023. Let's have a look again at those words to remind us of our dreams and our common ambitions. By 2023, Scouting will be the world's leading educational youth movement, enabling 100 million young people to be active citizens, creating positive change in their communities and in the world based on shared values. Influence, growth, unity, impact and unity are the key themes of our common vision. We have already discussed influence during the conference with the many inputs from our partners, including signing the MOU with UN Women, and we saw impact through the NSO showcase earlier today. And we also saw the movement united in the world events in Japan, Iceland and through Jyoti and Jota each year. We also see unity here at the World Scout Conference. But now let's talk about growth. The 100 million young people. I now invite Ahmed Al-Handawi, Secretary General of the World Organization of the Scout Movement, to share his vision of the growth of our movement and deliver his closing remarks to this conference. Please.
Thank you, Johanna. Before I start talking about the vision, the growth, and our road to 100 million by 2023, I would like to add and register as well my gratitude to Chairman João Armando for his credible leadership to our movement over the past few years, and to the World Scout Committee as they depart from this position and as we onboard a new World Scout Committee. The work that was carried over the past 3 years was all marked with the word, the biggest, largest, and we have been demonstrating this and breaking record after record over the past 3 years. And I think as we start now with a new triennium, we start with a very high bar. I would like to speak about the number that we keep repeating, 100 million. And the 100 million that we would like to achieve by the year 2023 is only one component of a vision that is deeply interconnected, that doesn't only talk about growth for the sake of it, but a growth because the world needs more scouts. And it also talks about our impact in the communities where we serve. Demonstrated considerable growth over the past 3 years. These are according to the census data that you all submitted to us. And there are 5 NSOs which have achieved the highest growth in absolute numbers between the years 2010 and 2015. And there are also 3 NSOs recognized in each region with their growth numbers. I believe you are seeing these NSOs who have demonstrated growth in their countries. And in the middle, you see those who are the top performers in terms of absolute growth. I would like to ask them all to stand up and for all of us to recognize them for advancing our work towards Vision 2023. Now, well done. Well done. We are expanding and we are growing. Now, absolute numbers are one thing, but the proportion of young people we reach in each country to the total population is another thing. We like to call that market share. How many young people are enrolled in scouting in relation to the large number of young people in the world? The next slide, you will see the 5 NSOs which have, between 2010 and 2015, reached the highest proportion of young people in their country. You'll also see the top achievers in each region. And I would like to ask the representatives of these countries to stand up and let's applaud them as well. So you probably can notice that how diverse those countries are to reach such high number or proportion of young people and a market share. Small and big, all over the world, these numbers are tribute to the outstanding quality and attractiveness of their youth program and of the leadership that is governing these NSOs. Let me thank all these NSOs for their growth achievements over the past years. They are light beacons for us to follow in our quest for the 100 million and for empowering more young people to join the movement and experience the transformative power of Scouting. Now, many of you will have read the WOSM membership report, which was published by the Membership Task Force last week. It provides an in-depth overview. I recommend that you read its summary, or at least confirm the numbers that you have that are coming from your country. The conclusion of that report is, however, that WOSM official membership is still, although it's growing and registering more growth, we are, with the confirmed number that you shared with us, pointing out to 41 million scouts who are registered and reported through the census to the World Organization of the Scout Movement. However, and that's a huge however, we know that there are many more young people involved in scouting. Our regional estimates vary from the census carried at the global level due to reasons that you are all familiar with. Inaccurate reporting caused by financial, institutional, and operational limitations. It's important to note that the estimated number of scouts active in the movement, according to our informal estimate, is well over 50 million scouts. Now, we believe that's a very encouraging news, and we are growing. But even 50 million scouts is still a long way from the 100 million. And we only have 6 years left. And that's a deadline that is self-imposed by us to ensure that we continue to grow and we accelerate the growth of our movement. And to get a sense where we are, we ask all of you to provide us in advance of the World Scout Conference here a growth commitment. All of you were asked to submit these growth commitments. A commitment to the amount of young people you can involve in scouting over the next triennium by 2020. We have put all these commitments you gave us together. So let's take a look how many more young people we would have by 2020 in all your commitments. By 2020. I think that's amazing, because that's way beyond our triennial growth figures. 9 million scouts could be added to the movement over the next 3 years. Thank you for all those commitments and for having the ownership of this collective vision, Vision 2023. Let us also keep in mind that the impact of our Scouts program are having around the world are to enable 100 million young people around the world. And I believe that the impact of Scouting goes well beyond only those who are reported as figures and as members who are part of our movement. You all have stories about how many lives Scouting are touching every day. Let me share just some stories that you're probably familiar with. You all know what the Greek Scouts are doing, supporting refugees. Their work in supporting and advancing the refugees in Greece and supporting those who are arriving to the Mediterranean. Together with the Scouts in the Philippines, the Ticket to Live project. There were street kids that they were offered a live transformative experience when they joined the movement. So all these Scouts and non-Scouts who are impacted by Scouting should also be part of our measurement and should also be part of the way we look to the future. So to achieve our goal for 100 million, we need to do 2 things. First, we need to become better in measuring our impact and our membership. We need to measure those who are impacted as well by our programs, by the amount of young people we reach as a result of Scouting. And number 2, I also call upon all of us to have bold commitments. The world needs Scouting and needs more Scouts, and we need to offer that to many more young people. Together, let's try to achieve more and work even harder, reaching out to communities where Scouting doesn't exist, recruit more leaders, retain more adults who are already involved in Scouting. One thing is clear in all of this: we will only achieve our vision of influence, growth, impact, and unity by working all together, the 169 NSOs around the world. I stand here to commit that we will do everything to help you train the adults you need, to help you increase recognition of Scouting in your country, to help you prove the impact of Scouting in your countries, and to help you innovate. And I know change is not easy. Innovating is an uphill battle sometimes. We saw this live at this conference. We changed a lot. We changed a lot of things. And we had our share of challenges. But we overcame them together, united, and as Scouts always do. Just one example I would like to leave you with before also leave this conference, before we hear the address of the chairperson. One example. Yesterday, we approved with 1990.16% our next triennial plan. A common plan and a way forward for all of us towards Vision 2023 and for the movement. I tell you that we can do this. This vote wasn't just another vote. This vote shows that a movement seeing with the clarity and unity was lying ahead of us, coming together with an overwhelming vote to say, for this bold plan for the next 3 years, yes, we can. We can achieve this. So let's work together to make it happen and to turn the pledges we made at this conference for growth to reality and to celebrate bigger, better, and more innovative scouting over the next 3 years. We'll continue on bringing scouting to even more countries where we do not exist, and we'll do everything in our power to ensure that would be the case. The World Scout Bureau, my colleagues and I, we will be doing everything in our power, support the governance, support the committee, and support all of you. And we will make sure that together we're able to achieve Vision 2023. Thank you for making this conference an unforgettable experience and making it the point where we refuel ourselves, our will, and our commitment to achieve our bold vision for 2023. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ahmed, for these inspiring notes and this clear challenge to all of us to make sure that Scouting reaches more young people. This challenge to make our movement grow. As we are now drawing towards an end, it has come to the time to start the investitures and say our thanks to those who have served in the past triennium. Let us start with the youth advisors to the World Scout Committee. For the past 3 years, 6 absolutely outstanding individuals served in this capacity to support the World Scout Committee and ensure the voice of young people has been heard. Can I please invite to the stage the outgoing youth advisors? Diana Neal, Jeremy Aper, Luis Aguyayo, Maed Mohamed Sair, Maura Fitzgerald, and Montaser Hosni Abdelmaged. Please. Thank you for your extremely hard work, your never-ending passion, and your valuable contribution to the World Scout movement. Let's give them another round of warm applause for their outstanding work. Now we have another batch of 6 competent and passionate youth advisors who were elected at the World Scout Youth Forum last week. They were elected among 14 candidates from all 6 regions. In the next 3 years, the youth advisors will attend World Scout Committee meetings and work as part of its substructures. They are also expected to contribute to all discussions, debates, and work representing the voice of young people. With the elections of these new youth advisors, we are looking forward to continue to strengthen youth involvement in the decision-making process of WOSM in the coming triennium. Can I now invite the 6 newly elected youth advisors to the World Scout Committee on stage. Congratulations to our new youth advisors who are Diana Carillo Tiburico, Mori Ching Cheng, Julius Kramer, Edgar Marumbu, Martin Mayer, and Amal Ridene. Please come up on stage. Can I now ask the outgoing youth advisors to hand over a purple scarf as formal investiture to each of the new members. Brothers and sisters in Scouting, I now present to you the formally invested, newly elected youth advisors to the World Scout Committee. This is traditionally also the moment to hand over to the team who will be leading WOSM in the next triennium. And I would now want to invite the outgoing elected members of the World Scout Committee on stage again. Joao Armando Gonçalves, Dan Aumbi, Karin Albeck, Abdullah Al-Fahad, Marcel Blaguet, Fernando Brodeschi, and Marina Cano, please. As you know, we also have two elected members who unfortunately could not join us here in Baku for the conference, Bagrat Yeseyan and Lydia Potsai. Let's give them an applause as well. We will now move to the investiture of the newly elected World Scout Committee, and I'm going to ask the outgoing members to help me with this. If I can now invite the 12 newly elected voting members of the World Scout Committee on stage. Mr. Mehdi Ben Khalil, Mr. Peter Blatch, Mr. Edward Andrew Andy Chapman, Mr. Jo Deman, Mr. Janaprit Salinda Fernando, Mr. Ilyas Ismaili, Ms. Sara Rita Kattan, Leonardo Morales Morales, Ms. Pia Melin Mortensen, Ms. Jemima Nartley, Mr. Joan Rieg, and Mr. Craig Jerpy. Can I now ask the outgoing Scout Committee members hand over a purple scarf as formal investiture to each of the new members. Dear brothers and sisters in Scouting, I'm extremely happy to be able to present to you the newly elected members of the World Scout Committee. Please. I have some good news though, they are not alone in this task. May I also invite on stage the 9 ex officio members of the committee as well as the 6 newly elected youth advisors. On behalf of all the World Scout Conference, I wish you the best of luck in the coming 3 years. You are up for a very interesting journey, very important goals ahead, and I am sure you will be serving the Scout movement in an absolutely excellent way. The best of luck. I'll do it again. I am now very happy to invite back on stage the chairperson of the newly elected World Scout Committee, Craig Chirpy, to address the conference.
I hope I have more than 3 minutes this time. Dear Scouts, dear friends, it is an absolute honor and a privilege to be standing here before you as chairperson of your World Scout Committee. When I first made my promise as a Cub Scout at the age of 8, during the investiture ceremony, I was presented with a set of badges for my new, bright, shiny green Cub Scout jumper. It was explained to me by my Akela that the purple World Membership Badge showed that I was a member of a worldwide Scout family, that there were millions of young people all around the world who were also Cub Scouts, just like me. If I'm honest, at that time, I didn't fully understand what it meant to be part of a worldwide Scout family, or even what that might look like. I could never have imagined that one day I would be serving World Scouting, using the same timeless promise, and to have the opportunity to stand before that worldwide Scout family as chairperson of the World Scout Committee. Like all journeys, they have to start somewhere. And my personal journey from investiture as a Cub Scout to investiture in the World Scout Committee has been a hugely rewarding one. I've gained skills, knowledge, and understanding that have helped me throughout my life. As we look to the future today and consider the journey that our movement is on, I'd like to share some reflections with you as we prepare to embark on our next steps together. Today, we've already recognized a number of people for their service to Scouting. In our values-based movement, it's right that we take time to thank people for the sacrifices that they make in order to contribute to Scouting. I'd like to start by expressing my thanks to our hosts for creating such a perfect setting for our World Scout Conference. I think they deserve another round of applause for all that they have achieved in creating the conditions for a perfect World Scout Conference. We've already heard from them and seen them, but I'd also like to recognize the contribution of the outgoing youth advisors, to Jeremy, Diana, Maid, Moira, Lewis, and Montasa. Thank you for everything that you have done. You have greatly enriched our work. Thank you. Now, as the sun sets on the 2014-2017 triennium, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the incredible commitment and contribution of all those members of the World Scout Committee whose terms have come to Abdullah, Bagrat, Dan, Fernando, João, Karen, Lydia, Marcel, and Marie. All of you have lived up to your promise, and all of you have done your best. You should take great satisfaction in knowing that you have left this movement in even better shape than when you started. Indeed, you have helped to create good conditions for the newly elected World Scout Committee to press on with our drive to achieve all that is set out in Vision 2023. I thank you for your good work. I thank you for your friendship. I'd like to particularly recognize the work of João, Dan, and Jemima, who've given so much in steering us over the last 3 years. The World Scout Committee is a big ship to steer, but I'm sure you'll agree with me, they did it well. To Joao and Dan, I hope you can now take some rest. To Jemima, there's no rest for you yet, but thank you for your continued commitment. I've always liked the quote, "Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds you plant." When we look at leaders, they're often thinking about the future and thinking about others. Joao Armando, your commitment to our movement has been truly exceptional. You have planted seeds locally, nationally, regionally, and around the world. The newly elected World Scout Committee and future committees will be the beneficiaries of the work that was undertaken on your watch. I am sure that we will be reaping the harvest for many years to come, thanks to what was achieved during this first triennium of Vision 2023. Joao, thank you for your service. Thank you for your commitment. You will be a tough act to follow. But if there's anything I've learned from you over the years that I've known you, it is that you always expect better. And you would expect nothing less of this new World Scout Committee than for it to build on what has been achieved and to strive for excellence in everything it will seek to do to advance our ambitions as the world's leading educational youth movement, the very movement to which you have so passionately dedicated yourself. Thank you. Now, your newly elected World Scout Committee is a formidable team of immense talent. Did you know we have educationalists, lawyers, market researchers, change managers, architects, even pathologists? But they also have an immense experience of scouting. And importantly, they have some great ideas that we need to use for the benefit of the movement. I know that they all genuinely care about the issues that affect you, and they are passionate about our movement's ability to make a difference to the lives of young people all around the world. I know that they want to ensure that World Scouting is of service and support to you. I know that they value the incredible work that you do in bringing quality scouting to even more young people. I know that they value your commitment to Vision 2023 as well. So I say this to the new team in the presence of this conference, that I, as your chairperson, will do everything I can to harness the unique potential, energy, and vision that each of you has, so that together we can propel this great movement forward. Our best years as a movement lie ahead of us. Over the coming 3 years, you can expect to see and hear much more of each and every one of them as they execute their important role in governing the movement on your behalf. Conference has spoken. Over the last 5 days, you've engaged in discussion and debate. You've reflected on the progress made since 2014. You've exchanged ideas with like-minded people from all around the world. You've looked to the future too and defined where we go next. Also, you've demonstrated, simply by being together, the unique global character of our movement, that it is possible for the world to come together, to be as one, and to tackle some of the biggest issues that affect young people and which affect our common future. As you know, this was the largest World Scout conference in the history of our movement. We even welcomed new members to the family during the conference. And we've benefited from the highest number of people attending the World Scout Youth Forum, also participating in the World Scout Conference. This high level of participation and commitment to youth involvement suggests that our growing worldwide Scout family is united in ambition and confidence, recognizing that our diversity is our strength, confident that together we can be the change that the world so desperately needs. As we look forward to 2020, we must maintain momentum. And as a World Scout Committee, we will seek to move at pace, and we will endeavour to ensure that at all times we are open, transparent and accountable. We will work in a collaborative way with our One World Scout Bureau colleagues, without whom we simply could not function. And we will work closely with regions and NGOs too, as we align to pursue the common goals we have in developing and growing Scouting, and the common goals we have in making a positive contribution to society. The simple motivation to ensure that every young person has access to quality Scouting is an ambition that I believe we should strive for. Everything contained in the triennial plan will help us with that ambition. Your strong support for the triennial plan is hugely encouraging, and we will do our very best to deliver on it. The world needs Scouting. Our mission as a movement has never been more critical. As we look around at all that is bad in the world, from terror and conflict to intolerance and inequality, we should take some comfort in knowing that Scouting, where it's available, brings both hope and opportunity to young people, to their families and to their communities. This is why it's so vital that we seek to bring Scouting to more young people, so that they can benefit from the life-changing experiences that our programs offer. We know already that Scouting is an education for life. We know that it's engaging and empowering. We know that it creates opportunities for learning by doing, and that it encourages diversity and equality, and that it promotes a culture of peace. But there is more to do, much more to do, in ensuring that others see this value too. As conference comes to close, my sense is that together we have lived up to the theme, Together for Positive Change. All of you here have done your duty as good Scouts to do your best, and I sincerely hope that you have found this experience rewarding for you personally, as well as for your National Scout organisations, and that you genuinely feel part of a remarkable, united, worldwide Scout family. On behalf of your World Scout Committee, sincere thanks for your contribution to the success of this conference and the confidence that you have placed in us. We look forward to seeing you in the coming months and years, and certainly in 2020 at the next World Scout Conference. We are prepared, we are ready to serve, we are counting on your support. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Craig, and the best of luck for the coming 3 years. On behalf of the team of chairs of this meeting, I want to thank you. It has been an absolute pleasure to chair this conference. Coming here, I was a little bit nervous. How would it feel to chair a meeting with more than 1,000 people? Entering the room the first time, it felt even worse. But sitting here in front of you, it feels fine, because coming here is like coming home. It's like being reunited with my family, and that feels amazing. I am proud of this conference because you have been expressing unity, willingness to work together, and sticking to our values, our Scout values, no matter what. And that is more important than ever in these times. We all know the challenges we face globally. Challenges, fear, and division. And we, our movement, and our values are needed more than ever. I am truly grateful for these past days of feeling the Scouting spirit together with all of you, of having this chance of meeting all of you here at the conference. I'm also happy to see that our movement is moving forward. We're not an old beast standing still, but we are moving with the times. We are taking up on those challenges. We are challenging ourselves. That makes me proud to be a part of this family. So, thank you. So thank you for the World Scout Committee for coming up with this idea of having somebody else chairing the conference, for having faith in us, in testing something new in this very public way, in wanting to improve the governance of this movement. It's been a great pleasure. Thank you. Thank you to the World Scout Bureau for supporting us in this sometimes slightly challenging task. And a special thank you to Hannah and David. You have been fabulous, supporting us with everything we need, early morning, late nights, providing us with brownies when we've been close to collapse. Thank you to them, and thank you very much to my co-chairs. I think we had a lot of fun in the process, and we had a truly international, intergenerational team, and we've been learning quite a lot from each other, I dare to say. And thank you to you delegates for being marvelous. Thanks. Can I now ask the host of the 41st World Scout Conference to join me on stage? And can I please invite the hosts of the 42nd World Scout Conference and the 14th World Scout Youth Forum, Egypt, to the stage, please. To the Scout Association of Azerbaijan and to Elias, thank you. It's been a wonderful conference. I still don't know how you have done it. It's been more or less flawless. We have all been enjoying this amazing conference venue. A very nice program, Azerbaijani night, international night. I think I've never seen a host city for a conference this much branded in scouting. And we have felt very welcome here in Baku. So thank you very much. Best of luck for Egypt, and hope to see all of you in 3 years' time. Thank you. Thank you. So Ilyas, thank you for being a remarkable host. It's been a pleasure coming here to Baku. It's been a really amazing conference. Thank you very much. Coming to an end of our conference, it's only appropriate to express our gratitude to all those who have made this event possible. His Excellency Mr. Ilham Heydar Oglu Aliyev, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, for his support for the Scout Association of Azerbaijan and the World Scout Organization of the Scout Movement. Thank you. The Vice President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ms. Mehriban Aliyeva. His Excellency Mr. Yakaya Kikwete, former President of the United Republic of Tanzania, for his inspiring message as the keynote address during the conference on the 14th of August at the Baku Congress Center. The WOSM partners who shared with the conference motivating and empowering messages to the conference, and these partners follows. The video message from the United Nations Secretary General, His Excellency Mr. Antonio Guterres, Ms. Elizabeth Nayamayorro, Senior Advisor to Undersecretary General and Executive Director of UN Women and Global Head of He for She Initiative, His Excellency Mr. Faisal bin Muammar, Secretary General King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz International Center for Interreligious and Intercultural Dialogue, Mr. Gordon Brown, United Nations Special Envoy for Global Education, the volunteers and the staff of the Scout Association of Azerbaijan for their tremendous work in making the 13th World Scout Forum and the 41st World Scout Conference such a great success. Planning teams of the 13th World Scout Youth Forum and the 31st World Scout Conference for their great leadership in these successful events, and the international volunteer team members of the 13th World Scout Youth Forum and the 41st World Scout Conference for helping hands and hard work on the ground to make for enjoyable events for all participants. Outgoing World Scout Committee Chair, João Armando Gonçalves, and the members of the outgoing World Scout Committee for leadership in implementing the conference decisions in the triennium and taking all possible actions towards good governance in WOSM and extending the best possible services to member Scout organizations. All institutions and companies, public and private, without which it would have been difficult to make the dream of these events reality. Thank you very much. Can I now ask Emin, one last time from the host, to provide us with the practical announcements for tonight's closing ceremony?
Dear brothers and sisters in Scouting, for departures, please check the schedule on the main info desk and help desk in Scout family hotels. Please note that tonight buses for the airport leaving from the venue started from midnight of the August 19 and during 2 days until August 20, buses will leave to the airport from the Scout family hotels. Also, if you are staying in the other hotel. You can take the shuttle from the nearest Scout family hotel. We kindly remind, whenever you are leaving, you need to check out from the hotels before 11 a.m. and take your shuttle to the airport. Okay. Tonight closing ceremony, we kindly ask you, all of you proceed directly to the exit and take your seat in the buses going to Buta Palace for the closing ceremony. Just when the plenary ends, last buses will leave the venue at 8:30 p.m. Please don't be late. Buses are leaving only according to the schedule. The closing ceremony will start at 7 p.m., followed by the dinner and parties that going to the end before 10 p.m. Buses from Buta Palace will leave at 10 p.m. as latest. Please don't be late to take your bus. Enjoy your time tonight and thank you for attention.
Thank you. As you know, these kind of events, they just don't happen without loads of hard work by many people behind the stage. So may I ask Göran Hegedal, the World Scout Bureau's Global Director for Scouting Development and also the Director for the 41st World Scout Conference, to join me on stage. Please, Göran, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Dear friends, I will slightly misquote a very good friend and say that there has never been a World Scout Conference that has not come to an end. This is a very complex operation, and it takes a lot of dedicated people to do an event like this. This is like a jamboree for paper scouts. And as with the jamboree, it entails good program, good activities, and it takes a lot of dedicated people to do that. And I want you to help me to say thank you to these people. We have the shares, and I think we all can say that they have done a fantastic job. I also would like to ask the resolution committee and the tellers to join me here on the stage, if they are in the room and still alive. I also want to tell you that this is the first World Scout Conference where we have used interpreters, not from a professional company, but fellow scouts that has taken their time to come here and helped us with the interpretation. We have a WOSM team composed of members from the World Scout Bureaus, all regional office and global offices, and volunteers from all over the world. And I asked also them to join me here on stage. I recognize that a lot of them cannot join me on the stage because they are in the booth up there, they are in the technical, have you looked back? Some of you can look back, and there is a technical booth there, and we have locked in a couple of guys there since 5 days, and we are going to let them out tomorrow morning. We also have a back office where we have locked in another group of people that cannot join us. So I ask you, send warm thoughts and an applause to these people that cannot join us on stage. And then we have all these smiling people from the host team. They are from Azerbaijan, but they are also from all over the world. We have an international host volunteer team. And I ask them to join me here on stage. Come here. And I also recognize that a lot of them are probably working somewhere in the building. So when you see them tonight, smile back and say thank you. To all of you, I say thank you for a fantastic work, and I want to join me in an applause. Johanna, I give it back to you now. I think I give it back to you. Yeah. Are you not going to...
Göran is giving back to me. The script, we have no more script. No, on an honest note, thank you. I now conclude the 41st World Scout Conference. I declare the conference closed. Thank you.
Hello, you boy in the corner there. You ought to be a Boy Scout. You're a fine-looking fella, and I know you'd make a jolly good backwoodsman by the look of you. You're ugly enough anyway. And you gal there, no, I don't mean you. I mean the pretty one behind you. You ought to be a girl guide, you know. Oh, you are one. Oh, I beg your pardon. That's quite right. Now go on and tell all your pals to come and be girl guides like you. I'm very glad to see you there. Thank you all. Good luck to you, and I wish we may meet again. Thank you.